Hi there all again. This is the first test of a structured carbon. What you see on the screen is it under a scope, and that's it there. I tested that out yesterday for its size. Oh, do we have light? Okay, for its size, it's very porous. What I did find some old sugar carbon of mine, which was still in its chunk form. I found a decent piece and filed the edges flat and created that cell. I just put it in the tub of the same cell I was testing with the copper carbon zinc cell. So I pulled that out and replaced this with the cell. And this is unused on the under the microscope. Sort of very crystallized form. It's just sugar carbon for 5 hours at 1,000 degrees, this one, and it's in its form how it comes out of the furnace. And it's actually quite surprising. It performs very well. It performs 15 minutes better than this carbon one we tested the other day. I'll leave this video on the end of the video, and I'll show you the used cell after 3 charges. So this cell's had 3 charges. I don't know what those little fibres are. I think they're just bits of fluff floating around. What got caught on it. I zoom in a little bit better. I think it circles because the light is reflecting off of the carbon. I don't think they're actually. I don't think we could see. We can't see the circles if they were any circles with this microscope. I couldn't see any, except for those blue things, but that could be the light reflecting. Is the only difference in the cell. But by the naked eye, it seems to be bits of grey particles stuck on it. Sort of looks like an alien world. We're actually zooming in past the top layer here into the other layer. We can only get a couple of layers deep because it starts reflecting off of the top layers. But it's not a bad little microscope, USB microscope for 20 bucks. It just had a glitch out just then, not sure why. Had to do a restart on the laptop there. And that little piece of carbon can actually run that motor without a charge. This is 1 hour charge at 2 volts 3 times on that current cell we're viewing now. Alright, so I'll turn the camera. So that cell we're looking at now has got the same electrolyte. I just topped it up with distilled water, which had the copper, fullerene carbon, and submerged in there. This one is not the fullerene carbon. It's the same base carbon, the sugar, but it was never put in the fullerene and to collect the fumes from this one, so it's just the plain sugar. But it's this one was 4 milliwatt hours. This one's 12 milliwatt hours, just for a structured type of carbon. It's a basic structure. It's got nothing else in it. I'm going to make this one with copper embedded into it later, and the other side's going to have zinc embedded into it. I don't know if they're going to be that fat, but I'll see what we can get out of it. So putting that in, submerging that. Oh, on the alligator clip. Okay, we're still at 1.2 volts, and just for a test before a charge, this was last charged up last night. I was playing with it. And get the milliamps on. We're still chewing 40 milliamps and 0.87 volts. Far cry from this little beast. This one's got way more carbon, plus it's got a graphite electrode. This one's not even got a collector on it. It is the collector. And it wasn't that impressive in the ohms reading department as well. It was probably only about 1.2 or 2 ohms. So I'll just turn this video off. I'll put the videos on the end of this video so you can sort of see them on a full screen. I don't know what the resolution is. I think it's only 640 by 480. The poor little laptop's struggling with that. And I'll just connect the charge and set the timer. Well, first I'll get rid of the scope. We'll do a 1 hour charge at 2 volts. And I'll get back hopefully before the hour's up and disconnect, and we can do we'll do a 30 milliamp load test on it. Voltage jumps back up after running the load for a while, and connecting 2 volts now. We don't seem to be too high in the milliamp range, but at least they're dropping. This one had no signs of anything, sort of. It was just constant. Well, it did sort of drop and then it went back up. Okay, I'll see you all in a half hour. Okay, 5 minutes over the hour. Sorry about that. I was aiming for the hour. Okay, I'll connect the device. We're still on charge. And for our so we've still got 20 milliamps left. And we're at 2.16. Oh. Actually, I didn't connect it. I didn't have the right port. Not showing its port. I'll do a tools and search. Looks like a restart on the laptop. It's gonna put a dampener to it. Doesn't detect ports. That's that USB microscope. After running a film. Oh, hang on. I had it connected COM port 3, but there's nothing in there, so now it might work. COM port 7 today. What's going on there? Alright, there we are. We got our voltage, 2.13 up there and 2.17 on the meters. I'll disconnect the charger. And we'll set 0.22 for the cutoff. And 30 milliamps for the load. Okay, our current voltage is still pretty high. Just get rid of the multimeters. Okay, conducting the test. On the last 3 tests, this thing ran for 35 to 36 minutes. It actually holds its voltage quite well. It holds above 1 volt for 5 minutes last night, so we'll see if it still does that today. It's pretty much the same cell as this carbon and graphite rod one, without the separator holding it all together. Pretty sure it's the same carbon. There's probably not much buckyball fumes going up into that carbon, but can't really tell for sure. But yeah, I'm quite surprised having it in its standard form straight out of the kiln, or furnace in my case. It actually performs quite well. So structured carbons are the way to go. You want to have those bonds between each carbon layer what form in the heat. They're already pre-bonded, no point breaking them by grinding them up. And this test actually really shows a difference. And we're still at 1.2 volts, 1 minute. We'll stay until we get to 5 minutes or the voltage drops to under 1, and then I'll let it plot its course and I'll get back. It doesn't take much to actually file it down. It's quite quick. You just got to get good structured pieces, because this was just left in a large container. You might want to compress it. Oh, where is it? Oh, rear. You may want to compress it. Forms big gullies. You want a bit more uniform. A bit more uniformation. Where's the magnifying lens? USB. Oh, swap hands. See that big gully? You probably don't want big gullies like that, but the rest of it's probably fine. You want it probably like that bit all the way through. And we're at 2 minutes and we're still holding strong. So this is really pretty good results for its size. I'm going to weigh them up when I dry them out. When this one dries and the other one dries, I'm going to put them on some scales. I got myself some better scales, little pocket scales. They seem to measure up and hold the same value. That was a $7 item. Quite impressed with the price, and actually works well, or well enough. It'll be some degree out, but it's good enough. It's in my price range. What led me to the structured stuff was also, this is a piece of corn cob I carbonized. I didn't even grind it or anything. I used that. I put a screw in the end. It's a bit rusted up, but this little corn performed really well. See all the little gullies and things? But it's sort of solid through the center, so not much electrolyte. It was only the surface area on the outside for this thing. But that other one, that's hollow all the way through. And it's still holding 1.2 volts. See, it's a little legend. That's all due to that carbon only. Everything else is the zinc, same electrolyte. It's just that carbon, and it's structured how it came out of the furnace. So I got some plans. I'm making some new cells, but that's winter time. I'm gonna look at pricing and making a furnace. So far I think the pricing's only out of 120, and most of that cost is the perlite. It's $50 a giant bag of it. But I've also seen on YouTube that some guy's perlite and water glass furnace melted on him, so I don't want that happening. That sort of be a waste of money. So I'm not really sure if I should do the water glass. He might have mixed his water glass wrong. He said it was melting out of the perlite. It was just oozing out on him, which is weird. Maybe it didn't cure properly. So that's a concern for me. I need to redo my furnace as well. I mean my my furnace. It was only out of plaster actually, straight plaster. I got about 2 years worth of burns for winter. Did about 50 burns maybe more. And it's still going strong. We're at 6 minutes and it's above. I've saved the other charts so you can see them. I'll attach them before the videos of the microscope footage. Yeah, I actually think I have some carbon nanoparticles in my skin, because I was looking at the microscope on my skin, and there's little sharp looking bits of triangularly shaped black particles here and there. It's freaking me out. And I also checked my hand after the handling some of the carbon, and I can't see it with the naked eye, but I put the microscope onto it and you can actually see the little black particles sticking to you. So maybe a bit more caution on handling that carbon. I think I might do a microscope carbon of, microscope shot of or I'll see if I can do all of the carbons and see if there's any sort of differences we can see in their structures. But most of them have been crushed up, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. But yeah, I'm hanging out to see the SCOBY under the microscope. SCOBY doesn't like 40-degree days, I don't think. It's really slow growing this time. I think it's been over 2 weeks. And the last time 2 weeks I had 5mm layer thick SCOBY. It's only half of that now. I'm trying to make a real thick one so I can carbonize it. And we're still holding. Alright, I'll since we're over 11, hang on, where is the minutes? We're at 8 minutes. Video's 10 minutes, don't want to make it too long. And I'll get back to this after it's done. Okay, we're back. Somewhat just missed it. It's a 32-minute run this time, and 13 milliwatt hours and 16 milliwatt hours. I'll just save this one. Okay, and for the cell that was made out of the graphite rod, it's somewhat skinnier in size at the end. It's tapered down, so it was oxidizing. for that cell, this was its power curve. I'll just pick number 9. It went for 13 minutes thereabouts and it only had 6 milliamps. And for the first charge of the structured cell, we got 36 and 14 milliwatt hours. Oh. Yeah. Nearly lost the camera stand. The table wobbles too much when you walk around. Okay, I got the scales. I decided to pull the cell apart so we can sort of weigh it. They're probably at the same wetness. Okay, this is the carbon from the first graphite cell, and it weighs in at 5.77 grams. Somewhat wet, but it has been out for about 3 days, so it's sticky, so there's a bit of moisture in there. We could take a gram off, so say we'll keep it at 5.7. and for the other cell, that's probably full of electrolyte as well. Oh no, it's heavier, so we have more. It's 9.71 grams. But it could, look, it's really dripping electrolyte. I was just noticing it's reflecting a purple light. Some reason. It's weird, eh? Alright, I'll post the graphs in comparison, and that's it for the structured cell. Alright, thanks for watching.